David. David.
Dave, are you in the fridge again? Get out of the fridge.
David.
What is up, everyone? This is the David Wells Experiment, and I'm David Wells. Unless I'm an imposter. No, just kidding. Don't know how to start this video off, really. Man, I'm feeling kind of low energy today, guys. I don't know, maybe people always tell me don't work too hard, and I kind of joke, and I'm like, too late. Lol. But they may be onto something. Some of my regulars be like, I see you here all the time. Do you ever get a break? I do get Saturday and Sunday off, but man, sometimes I feel spent. But anyway, that's not what I'm going to talk about. So, the trailer for Thor Love and Thunder dropped the other day. There had been a teaser trailer out for a while and it looked great. But the other day we got to see the full official trailer with Christian Bale in it. So it's really interesting is that when I saw Christian Bale as his character, it took me back because, not in a bad way, it was great because I'm trying to figure this out. He almost looks like a different... I don't know how to articulate this. Okay, the best way I can put it is that the bits that I saw him in, he almost looks like he's in a different movie. He really brings something different to the franchise. But here's the thing. We've had great actors, Oscar-winning actors, in MCU movies before. And I don't know what it is. It feels like there's something different about it. And we've had great villains. We've had Thanos, we have Killmonger. Those are the ones that really stand out. And, I mean, you got their emotion from their performance. But when I see just the little bit that I do of Christian Bale, as his character is called Gore the God Butcher. So the backstory for his character is that, in Marvel, Thor is like a god, and we find out later in the movie that there's also the gods of Greek mythology. And if you've been following the Moonlight, they dip into Egyptian mythology. So anyway, Gore the God Butcher's thing is he doesn't believe that the gods deserve all the praise they get, so he goes on sort of a killing spree. Hence the name. I think in a typical Marvel fashion, there's going to be a thing where I think he lost his family or something because the gods didn't answer his prayers. So that's what gives him... That's the crux of his story. I don't know. It's like when you really see the emotion lived in him. I mean, you got that there was tragedy about Thanos. You got that there was tragedy about Killmonger. But you really feel like you see the death in his eyes. You see it on his face, on his face, and he just bleeds it through the performance. And I've only seen a couple of seconds of it. So it's like, wow. It almost feels like... I guess the thing is, for this trailer, I mean, maybe we'll see later on him interacting, but it almost feels like that thing of, he really does feel like he's in a separate movie. Like, it almost feels like that thing of when you watch fan trailers on YouTube, and you can tell, okay, they took a clip from this movie and they put it with this one, and it really shows. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting with this. But I feel like it's a different caliber of acting. Not to say better, because, yeah, like I said before, we've had other kinds. We've had other great actors. I mean, Anthony Hopkins was in 3 of the Thor movies. But it always felt like, I guess, the difference between these Oscar-winning actors being in Marvel movies versus Christian Bale is, it felt like they adapted themselves to the Marvel mold. In this movie, it doesn't appear as though Christian Bale adheres to that mold. That's the best way I can put it. But anyway, yeah. I'm looking forward to this. I'm sure it'll be good. So it's funny, I may have to readjust my plan to bike to work because I've just been feeling tired, and maybe I'll try to get a scooter a lot sooner than I thought. So anyway, it's so funny. One convention of hiring people that I never understood is when you go to a job and they say, hey, don't tell people how much you make. That's your business. And my thinking is like, well, if it's my business, isn't that to disclose to who I wish to? Like, why don't I tell my coworkers, why do they make a point of telling me not to tell them? I don't know, feels a little ridiculous. I mean, nowadays, people, I wonder if people ever really cared. But I've been seeing trends on TikTok of people disclosing that information because I kind of feel like people don't care anymore. Like, I think some places have done that. They've made that practice because it's like maybe they want their guys to be content with what they've got, so they don't want so-and-so to find out, what, he's making this much money? Oh, I mean, that's never how it was at my work, but, it's a convention. I found that places are like, yeah, don't tell your coworkers how much money you make. It's your business. It's personal. And as I said before, well, if it is personal, shouldn't it be their prerogative if they want to disclose it? Anyway, funny thing. The other day, I killed a spider with my bare hands. So we had this one guest who was driving through, and she was like hesitant to roll down her window. So I'm like wondering what's up. It's like, is there a spider on the outside? I'm like, not that I saw. And then I saw it go down. I'm like, oh wait, there it is. She freaked out. And then she's like, don't do that. I'm like, no, I was being real. There was a spider and it was on her seat. I'm like, there it is. And she freaked out. And so, I don't know, maybe it was just instinctual, but it didn't look threatening, but, I just went, and yeah, I smashed it with like the palm of my hand. And then, of course, I made a quip saying, you won't find that at Popeyes. So for those who don't know, I work at Chick-fil-A. So part of their advertisement a couple years back, they threw some shade at us. So, I don't think I ever respond like too crazy with that. It's all a lighthearted jest. I really do need to go ahead and I don't want to quit Chick-fil-A, but at the same time, it's one of those things where I do need to make more money. and there are other opportunities. I have skills that if I just I can do video and I can do photography, and my sister's been pushing me for years to try to do something with that. And I never felt that I had the talent or the experience to. But recently I haven't, that hesitancy keeps going away. And I know I need to do something with it because, like, I don't want to leave Chick-fil-A, but at the same time, it's like, it can be tiring, and I'm getting older, and I don't know that I can do all the stuff that I used to do. So I don't know if it would be doing anybody any favors for me to stick around. But yeah, I'm not, for any of my regulars who love seeing me there, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. But it's one of those things where I got to think about what else to do. Plus, what with property taxes going up, I've got to give it some thought. I was on Glassdoor and Indeed, and I've seen positions that are hiring and they pay anywhere from $16 to $25 an hour. I've even seen some gigs, photography and video, that do like what, $50 an hour on certain events. Like weddings can do $50 an hour, and I'm like, that's mental. I just know I kind of can't do this forever. Plus, I mean, one of the advantages is I look very good for my age. Like, I kind of hit the genetic lottery ticket when it came to my parentage, because neither of my parents really started to look older until they got into the later part of their 50s. I mean, they still look good for their ages, but like you're able to tell. It's kind of like Johnny Depp. Like, he looked great for the longest time, but only recently did his looks start to, you started to see a crack in the facade. But, dude still looks great, still looks handsome. Anyway, so the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing is coming to a close. I heard there's supposed to be a verdict reached by Friday of this week. So that'll be interesting to see. And one of the things that I've heard is public opinion and the results might differ. But one of the things I think is this might be so worst case scenario. I think I've said it before, but I'm Team Johnny. And one of the reasons is because this kind of happened as an offshoot of the Me Too movement. And it seemed to me that the criteria established in the Me Too movement was, if you make an accusation, that's enough. And if enough people back up that accusation, then, action gets taken. And yeah, so now if we go by that criteria, then more people have come to Johnny Depp's support saying, like, he's not that dude. And as I see this Amber Heard thing going on, it's like, I don't think he did it. If we're going by the low bar that Me Too has established of like, oh, this person did this, therefore they're guilty, then, I've got to say, I don't think he did it. Now, here's the thing. Even if Amber Heard wins this case, I think she has officially lost the case in the court of public opinion. And I think that basically Johnny Depp's career is going to see a major upswing. It'll be kind of like a reverse Bill Cosby, because technically Bill Cosby was deemed innocent. There was a mishandling of like procedure that allowed him to walk free from jail time. But everybody was turned against him because we found out, oh shoot, he did all this stuff, but due to some technicality, he walked free. I feel that for technical reasons, that could be the case with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. One of the things I found about, it's interesting to see which celebrities have taken his side and her side. And one of the things that's interesting is the people who are pro Amber Heard. They're usually her friends, and their argument usually goes around, hey, isn't Johnny Depp great? Who doesn't love Jack Sparrow or Edward Scissorhands? Well, I believe my friend who's suffered abuse, and it's like... So playing devil's advocate, I'll say this. There is a thing of, if you like somebody, you want to believe the best in them. And everybody does love Johnny Depp. So their thing is, he's so liked, people are going to want to see things in a way that isn't true. And that is a good point. But I gotta say, it works the other way too. You know, she might be their friend, but, you know, if the information provided proves contrary to her claims, then, you know, they got to bite the bullet just as much as the pro Johnny fans have to. But it does not look like it's turning out that way for her. Well, this has been kind of a Frankenstein episode of the David Wells Experiment. I like to tell y'all that the apex of this series is always going to be what catches my interest. That's what people ask me when they ask me what's it about. You know, whatever catches my interest, whatever I want to talk about. You know, I'll probably never do a video about politics or religion unless I come at it from a perspective of, this is what I'm interested. It'll never be a thing about pushing anybody. There may be one or two exceptions, but, you know, if that ever does happen, I'll be sure to put a disclaimer saying, hey, this is this kind of episode. If you're not about that, you can tune out, no hard feelings. But hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. So as I always say, have an absolutely super day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.